Tableau in Korea has completely descended into chaos. Cha Eun Woo is being accused of tax evasion and his career is on the verge of collapse, and CL could face prison at any moment, especially considering that Cha Eun Woo has stayed away from scandals for years, has become one of the indispensable faces of the advertising industry with his clean and trustworthy image, and has been referred to by the public as a model idol. These recent tax evasion allegations have seriously shaken his reputation. Let's talk about these scandals today. According to recent reports, Cha Eun Woo is said to be facing a tax bill exceeding approximately 20 billion Korean won, which is roughly $13 to $14 million. This figure drew attention not only because of its size, but also because it is one of the largest tax liabilities ever imposed on a Korean celebrity. The allegations go far beyond a simple accounting mistake or a technical tax dispute. Honestly, the situation is very complicated, but don't worry, I will explain it to you in the simplest way possible. Under normal circumstances, Cha Eun Woo's income flow should work like this. The money from advertisements, dramas, or events that Cha Eun Woo participates in goes directly to Fantagio. The agency then pays a certain portion of that money to Cha Eun Woo. Cha Eun Woo then pays his own personal income tax. This personal income tax rate is approximately around 45%. However, in the first months of last year, this situation had actually started to surface gradually. A tax audit had begun in the name of Cha Eun Woo, but because Cha Eun Woo went to the military in July, it seemed as if the issue was somewhat covered up. In recent days, this matter has fully come to light publicly, and it was revealed that Cha Eun Woo's money flow was not as I explained to you earlier. What emerged from the government's investigation is this. A company was established in the name of Cha Eun Woo's mother. This company was registered as an entertainment management agency. A service agreement was also made between Fantagio and this company. A portion of Cha Eun Woo's income was being transferred to this company instead of Fantagio. So why was this done? Because the tax rate of this intermediary company is 20%. In South Korea, the personal income tax rate for high-income individuals is 45%. In contrast, corporate tax is around 20%. It is believed that part of Cha Eun Woo's earnings were routed through the family company to benefit from this difference, and as a result that he evaded a serious amount of tax. According to the initial calculations, through this method, Cha Eun Woo did not pay approximately $14 million in taxes. So simply put, Cha Eun Woo paid 20% tax instead of 45%. The state's claim is as follows. This company is doing exactly the same things that Fantagio already does. There is no additional, real, or separate service. Thanks to the existence of this intermediary company, approximately $13.6 million less tax was paid for Cha Eun Woo. This is essentially what is called a shell company, a method of tax evasion. I tried to explain it in the simplest way possible, but with the details later in the video you will understand much better how big of a scandal this really is, so don't worry. What makes this situation even more interesting is actually this. The intermediary shell company belongs to Cha Eun Woo's family. Apparently it is directly registered in his mother's name, and although it appears in official records as an agency providing entertainment and management services, the address under which the company is registered belongs to an eel restaurant. In other words, this shell company has nothing to do with an entertainment agency. It is actually a restaurant. When these events came to light, Cha Eun Woo and his agency directly denied the allegations. In official statements made by the idol's agency, Fantagio, it is emphasized that the issue concerns a subjective interpretation of the law. According to the company, this structure established by Cha Eun Woo's mother is a legally registered entertainment and management company, and there is no shell or sham activity involved. It is also stated that Cha Eun Woo, as a citizen, has seriously fulfilled his tax obligations and is fully cooperating with the authorities to clarify the process. At the moment, the case has still not been concluded and the tax audit is still ongoing. But of course, the situation did not end there. After the scandal broke, some major brands for which Cha Eun Woo was the face removed or set to private the advertising videos and promotional content featuring the idol from their social media accounts without making any official statement. Especially Shinhan Bank removing the idol's advertising videos drew a lot of attention. This is because before Cha Eun Woo, the brand's advertising model was Kim Soo-hyun. When Kim Soo-hyun's scandal broke out, the brand introduced Cha Eun Woo as its new advertising face. Now, with the idol's own scandal coming to light, the brand has started hiding his advertising visuals and videos everywhere as well. All of these discussions became even more complicated when combined with the fact that Cha Eun Woo went to the military in July of last year. Some social media users claimed that the idol deliberately enlisted after the tax investigation began, suggesting that it was done to cover up the investigation and repair his public image. Now, you might be thinking, why has this incident been blown up so much? How could it really harm the man's career? Let me explain that right away. In South Korea, tax evasion allegations, especially when it comes to celebrities, are not seen as merely a legal issue. In the public eye, such cases are perceived as a crime against society. This is because celebrities earn high incomes thanks to the public's attention and support, and it is expected that that this income will be returned to society through taxes. For this reason, the allegation that Cha Eun Woo evaded taxes has essentially destroyed the model idol image that he had built over many years. Korean fans in particular are reacting much more strongly to this situation. Many of his advertising deals have already been cancelled, and public perception of him has been seriously damaged. Now let's move on to some details about the family company. According to records, the company in question was established in October 2022 by Cha Eun Woo's mother. In official documents, the company was listed as an agency providing entertainment and management services. However, according to official records, the company's address was an eel restaurant located on Ganghwa Island in Incheon, which is operated by Cha Eun Woo's family. Tax experts found it unusual that a management agency operating in the entertainment industry would be registered at a restaurant address rather than a professional office. Another factor that deepened the controversy was the company's structural changes over time. According to evaluations by legal experts, the company initially operated as a private business, then changed its name and was converted into a limited liability company, and during this process, its address was moved to Ganghwa Island. In fact, there was a reason why they suddenly moved to this island. Ganghwa Island is designated as a growth management zone. In other words, some businesses operating in this area are exempt from higher taxes and fees that are applied elsewhere. Tax authorities also questioned whether the relocation of the company's address specifically to this region was merely a coincidence. Cha Eun Woo's side firmly rejected this assessment. In the statements made, it was emphasized that the company was properly established and legally registered as a culture and entertainment management agency. According to the defense, management changes and instability at Fantagio over the years created a need to protect the artist's career. Therefore, his mother established a company to directly take on management duties. The existence of the company was not created for the purpose of tax evasion, but to manage the artist's activities more securely. Now let's move on to some details about the family company. According to records, the company in question was established in October 2022 by Cha Eun Woo's mother. In official documents, the company was listed as an agency providing entertainment and management services. However, according to official records, the company's address was an eel restaurant located on Ganghwa Island in Incheon, which is operated by Cha Eun Woo's family. Tax experts found it unusual that a management agency operating in the entertainment industry would be registered at a restaurant address rather than a professional office. Another factor that deepened the controversy was the company's structural changes over time. According to evaluations by legal experts, the company initially operated as a private business, then changed its name and was converted into a limited liability company, and during this process, its address was moved to Ganghwa Island. In fact, there was a reason why they suddenly moved to this island. Ganghwa Island is designated as a growth management zone. In other words, some businesses operating in this area are exempt from higher taxes and fees that are applied elsewhere. Tax authorities also questioned whether the relocation of the company's address specifically to this region was merely a coincidence. Cha Eun Woo's side firmly rejected this assessment. In the statements made, it was emphasized that the company was properly established and legally registered as a culture and entertainment management agency. According to the defense, management changes and instability at Fantagio over the years created a need to protect the artist's career. Therefore, his mother established a company to directly take on management duties. The existence of the company was not created for the purpose of tax evasion, but to manage the artist's activities more securely. For many years, Cha Eun Woo was referred to with descriptions such as scandal-free idol, clean image, and reliable brand model. This image placed him in a privileged position not only in music and acting, but also in the advertising world. Banks, cosmetic brands, and large corporations preferred to use Cha Eun Woo's face to convey messages of trust and stability. However, with the emergence of tax evasion allegations, this image has begun to be questioned rapidly. There were comments like these online regarding the incident. They didn't even bother trying to hide the tax evasion. It's honestly ridiculous. At first glance, they looked like a hardworking family that didn't rely on their son Cha Eun Woo and ran their own business, but they completely ruined that image. The posts about Cha Eun Woo visiting the eel restaurant were fake, and they used a shell company to evade 20 billion Korean won in taxes. You really can't trust anyone. They didn't even bother renting a separate office space to register an entertainment company. As you can tell from the comments, people are quite angry, and I'm very curious to see what will happen next as this situation continues to unfold. And of course, there's also the CL situation, which I should tell you about as well. CL established her own company, Very Cherry, in 2020 and carried out her solo activities through this company. Those of you watching this video probably already remember all the details. However, according to the allegations, CL never registered this agency with the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism. In other words, in the eyes of the state, this agency essentially does not exist, and this situation has continued for a full 6 years. Officially, any agency that manages artists or carries out entertainment activities must be registered with the government, and if this registration does not exist, they may face up to 2 years in prison or a fine of up to 20 million won. On January 22nd, CL was referred to the prosecution for operating an unregistered agency. CL stated that she was not aware of the registration requirement and claimed that many celebrities operate agencies in a similar way. Depending on the prosecutor's decision, CL may be fined or could face prison time. We will have to wait and see how this turns out. So as you can see, recently celebrities in Korea have been having serious trouble with the state. Let's see what else we will witness in the coming days. We've reached the end of today's video. Please don't forget to write your thoughts in the comments and follow me. I'm sending you all a big hug. Goodbye.